Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be doing an unboxing review for Greenspaces ID, which is an Indonesian company that imports plants all over the world. As always, please make sure you are hitting that like button, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. Today is a birthday special. It is August 7, 2024, and today I turned 42 years old. Super excited to do this unboxing. So Greenspaces was able to send me some plants. They reached out to me just to see what kind of plants they had, and they wanted to see what I thought about their packing and just the quality of plants. So this will be just a review of what plants I've received. The whole process took about 3.5-4 weeks for the plants to arrive. The thing about it is when importing plants, there does need to be a time where they get a phytosanitary certificate, which takes a bit of time. But you can see right here, right off the bat, nice secure packaging. This is a Hoya undulata green. So I've never really seen this type of Hoya, but they offered me this particular Hoya. Just from the get-go, you can see that Greenspaces ID really takes the time to pack the plants really well. And what I was super worried about is the fact that it is August 7th. We have had about a week of 100+ degree weather. And when this plant, the actual package made it to the United States, it was a little bit delayed. It was not Greenspaces' fault. That's just how the U.S. Postal Service sometimes can be. But I was just worried that these plants were actually going to be just fried by the time it got to me. Luckily, I was off for my birthday today. I'm just super thankful that I'm able to share this experience with you plant foldies. But you can see right here, Anthurium papilioninum, I guess that's how you say it, hybrid. This is such a beautiful Anthurium. I don't really own a lot of Anthuriums. This will be my very first one, alongside with just the ones that are commonly found at big box stores. But as you can see here, this is a Philodendron billetiae, and although you can get Philodendron billetiaes over here at most of the local plant shops in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is where I'm based at, I just wanted to see what a Philodendron billetiae would do in terms of being imported. So they offered me this, and you can see whenever you are importing plants, it's always a gamble. You don't know what it's going to look like, but every single plant, and in plant foldies, let me know in the comments if you think that these plants have come out looking super healthy. Look at that. Even there is a new growth point here, and I love it so much. I'm super excited. What I will tell you about Greenspaces ID is I have been able to keep in touch with them via Instagram direct messages. Very responsive, and they were able to really answer a lot of my questions. So I am just excited that the day has finally happened. It happened to land on my birthday today, so plant party for sure. But you can see here we've got an Alocasia scalfrum. Now this is an Alocasia I've seen before, and is actually one that I've always wanted. Now Alocasias are a little bit finicky when traveling, but you can see right off the bat there's only one yellow leaf, and that's really to be expected. Especially with Alocasia, they are not the best travelers, but look at that beautiful texture on this, and I love the purple dark foliage stems. We're going to look at these plants a little bit closer, and you can see that there are some new growth points here, which really shows that Greenspaces ID has some really healthy plants. So if you're looking to import plants, just from my initial unpacking, I am super impressed, and I didn't know what to expect. I've imported plants from Indonesia in the past, and I've actually had a really good experience. So this is my second time importing plants, and I am just super excited that it has come out very well just from the initial unpacking. I mean, you can see right here, Aglaonema, big papa, and you already know I love Aglaonemas. I will say that Indonesia probably has the best Aglaonemas out there. So if you're an Aglaonema collector like myself, I would recommend even considering to do imports from Indonesia. This is literally my first time importing from Greenspaces ID, and I like the fact that even though I do have my own import license, they made it super simple in the fact that I didn't really have to worry about doing all of the paperwork for that. They have a broker that's able to get these plants legally into the United States, and I love that. Now the thing about it is, you can see right here, Alocasia scalfrum. Just from the initial look, there's only one yellowing leaf, and again, I would even say that Alocasia from the ones that I've even ordered online in the United States, don't ship as nice as these alocasia that I've seen that ship from Indonesia. I mean, that is stunning. It's amazing that it actually made it to me super healthy. It is such a good birthday gift. So I'm so thankful that Greenspaces ID happened to just reach out to me, wanted to see my honest review on them. And I wanted to just let, plant foldies know, if you are a little bit hesitant about importing plants, just know that not all imports are always going to be perfect. I just happened to get lucky. This is my second time. First time with Greenspaces. Things that you need to know about importing plants is, number one, make sure that you will find a reputable source. So Greenspaces ID has been in business for quite some time, several years now. There are several reviews. So that's really a plus in terms of just buying from Greenspaces ID. Also look at the root system. So I got rid of the sphagnum moss, and you can see that these roots are fabulous. I even saw that it looks like there is a corm right over here, but you can see that when you're looking for plants, the wider the roots are, the thicker the roots are, the more established the root system is. And you got to think, this has been traveling for quite some time, and it made it to me in one piece. Like, there's just a little bit of yellowing on that alocasia, but the initial process of just getting the plants to you in one piece without them being like burned, melted in the heat, all of that, I'm really excited, and I love the texture. It is amazing. I've never really seen any alocasia like this in the big box stores that I shop at. So plant foldies, another thing that you want to take a look at is whenever you are importing plants from overseas, even though they have a phytosanitary certificate, which means that the government in the country that it's coming from has taken measures to disinfect the plant. Whenever you're importing plants, you cannot have plants imported with any type of soil. So that is the reason why they always come out with sphagnum moss. But I have my plant foldy mist, which is basically cold pressed neem oil, rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, a drop of dish soap, and water. And I spray that on the plants just to make sure that I spray the tops of the leaves, the bottoms of the leaves, the crevices of the leaves, and the root system. And I'll let it sit there for a good probably 2 to 3 minutes just to disinfect that. And I'm also setting up my Rehab water. So that's basically Super Thrive and distilled purified water. But as you can see right here, look at that natural shine that it gets from my neem oil spray. I went ahead and washed the neem oil and the rubbing alcohol and all of that before I actually stuck it in a glass. And now I am actually putting the Super Thrive water. This is purified water. Again, I just want to make sure that I give it the best water. Now, whenever you're importing plants, a lot of the roots are definitely going to be dehydrated. So it's not advisable to actually plant the plants directly into a soil substrate or anything like that. I would say leave the plants for at least 72 hours in this water. So what I would do is I would change this water daily, every single day for at least 3 days, and then kind of assess how the roots are, how the plants are acclimating to my environment, because it did take a lot of shock. So Super Thrive is actually a good vitamin B nutrient source for these plants to really just de-stress, acclimate, and all of that. I would also tell you, in terms of just doing imports, from my experience, is you want to make sure that you do give the plants bright indirect light. Don't give them too much light, because they have been in a package for maybe a week or two. The way these plants were sent to me is actually through air cargo. So the longest part about importing plants is just a phytosanitary certificate, and that is the reason why I love that Greenspaces ID makes it super easy. I did have to do an initial import license when I first imported plants from Indonesia, but if you buy through Greenspaces ID, they take care of all the legal paperwork to do that. So you don't necessarily need to have a import license to import these plants. I mean, you can see right here, look at how beautiful this Aglaonema Big Papa. I love calling it that Big Papa right here. Beautiful plant. I don't have this particular Aglaonema, but I'm so excited. And I will tell you, plant foldies, for my 42nd birthday, it's always nice to get gifts. Thank you to all those that have actually wished me a happy birthday and just really have stuck alongside with me. I meant to do a collab video premiere, but I thought that this would actually be a better premiere considering that I'm doing a review. This was pretty much a gift from Greenspaces ID. They really honestly wanted my opinion on their plants, and so far it has been amazing. And the fact that I've already had experience importing plants actually gives me a little bit even more insight. I mean, you can even see right here, whenever you're importing plants from overseas, you want to inspect the roots. So the brighter the roots are, the better. But you can see, even just checking the undersides of the leaves and really just seeing that there are no pests, that's another risk you would also take, especially when you're importing from a seller that you're not quite, I guess, familiar with. And as always, whenever you are introducing plants to your plant collection, it is always good to disinfect the plant, really spray it down. Some people will spray them down with like insecticidal soap. I prefer using my plant foldy mist, which is basically getting a conventional spray bottle. You can buy that at any store, doing 2 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol, 2 tablespoons of neem oil, 2 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide, a drop of dish soap, fill it up with water, shake, 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 and you can spray that on your plant. So I want to make sure that I'm disinfecting the plants by just spraying all of the leaves, every single crevice, letting it sit there for like 2 to 3 minutes, then taking the root system and just washing it down so that the neem oil and the rubbing alcohol doesn't really stick into the water. And then I fill the actual plant up with some Super Thrive water. I did put a little trace element of Miracle Grow, just a tiny bit, just to give it a little bit of a nitrogen boost. You don't necessarily have to do that. Sometimes less is more, but for me, I've already had that experience. Like, I had an amazing import experience for a bunch of aglaonemas from another seller on Etsy. But I am just really happy that with Greenspaces ID, they just have such a great reputation. I mean, you can see off the bat, whenever you're going to be importing plants, you want to look at all of the reviews. Not only look at the reviews that are positive, but also look at some of the negative reviews. And Greenspaces, for the most part, has had some amazing reviews, but then there's also some potential reviews that may not have gone as perfect. You just have to have an open mindset when it comes to importing plants, because at the end of the day, sometimes it's not the seller's fault that the plants may not have come to you in great condition. Honestly, it's really more so on the postal system. So I just want to make sure that everybody has realistic expectations. I just happen to get lucky. Maybe it's because it's my birthday, but you can see right here, this is another anthurium. I can't really pronounce the name. It is one big tongue twister, but look at how beautiful the velvety texture of the leaves are. I am a little bit nervous about growing an anthurium, but Greenspaces really wanted to send me an anthurium, and so I might get into anthuriums. This definitely will be a plant that I will put in a area that gets like humidity, so I'll probably put one of my mini humidifiers next to it, probably water it with distilled water versus tap water. But you can see I went ahead and took the sphagnum moss off. Here's the thing about the sphagnum moss also, it was loosely packed onto the plant, which I like that Greenspaces did that, because it was easy to get all of the sphagnum moss off of the plant. The sphagnum moss wasn't super soaked either, and you can see, look at that, there is a bright white root coming out right there. So you can see that the roots are dehydrated, but that is part about the part that you have to really understand whenever you're importing plants. There is a rehab session or acclimation period. It could take up to 2 to 3 weeks for the plants to really feel comfortable. So you have to stick close to them. Some people will put these plants and soak them in water for like a week or 2. Some may actually have to propagate them because the root systems haven't come in a good spot. But initially, I mean, you can look at it right here. Plant Foldies literally unboxed this at noontime, August 7th. And you can see that these plants are looking amazing. As you can see, I am spraying it with my Plant Foldy spray, which I love because it has really worked out for me. It literally kills mealybugs, thrifts, fungus gnats, spider mites, you name it, it'll kill it. And you can see after spraying it down how it has like a nice beautiful shine that will continue to protect the plants. But I am so excited. I mean, Plant Foldies, let me know what you think about Greenspaces ID. I'm just going to go ahead and fill this up with some Super Thrive, but some more initial things is with Greenspaces ID, you get more out of your money if you purchase several plants. So for me, if there are some plant foldies that potentially want to go collab with me, buy a bunch of plants from Greenspaces ID, so that way we can split the shipping and the phytosanitary certificate, I am open for that. Only just wanted to tell you though is if for some reason our import doesn't go well, the good thing about Greenspaces ID is you can do a claim for it, and they're very good about replacing the plant or finding some type of alternative. That's another reason why my review for Greenspaces ID is a positive one. To say the least, I'm super impressed. Obviously, we're gonna have to monitor these plants in terms of like how they acclimate, but from the packaging alone, from the way they pack, from the communication they did, also the potential pricing that they have these plants, I am super impressed already. And for somebody who does big box store plant shopping videos, you know that I'm looking for affordable pricing. I've talked about how some people get these rare house plants, these aeroids, which are extremely expensive in the United States. But if you're looking for more cost-effective pricing, sometimes visiting the import route is a good idea. I know for me, I love aglaonemas and certain syngoniums, so I'm going to definitely purchase from Greenspaces ID because number one, I can literally just connect with a person and talk to them about what plants I want. Number two, the communication is super fast. Like I don't even have to worry about getting a response within 24 hours. They are so quick about that. And you can see right here, Philodendron billetiae, and notice how whenever you're buying plants, whether it's at a big box store, but especially when you're importing plants from overseas, if you see a growth point, then you know that this plant is happy, it's established. And honestly, I'm actually happy that I got a Philodendron billetiae overseas from Indonesia. And take a look at this. After I've taken the sphagnum moss, which I mentioned earlier, how they packed it lightly, it was easy for me to take that off of the root system, because you really don't want to keep too much sphagnum moss on the roots, especially if you're going to plant it in a soil substrate eventually, because that could hold a little bit too much water to where it could potentially rot the roots. But you can see right off the bat, these are dehydrated roots, but look at how white, thick the roots are. Look at that right over there. I'm super impressed. Like, you know, Greenspaces ID, they definitely didn't pay me to do this review, because plant foldies, at the end of the day, it's important for me to give you guys honest reviews and content for especially for those that haven't really delved into importing. I know a lot of my viewers are more I guess acclimated to, you know, shopping at a big box store like Walmart, Lowe's, or Home Depot. But if we want to get a little bit more adventurous and we don't want to just necessarily purchase plants from a local nursery, you can get some cool plants like this. Again, plant foldies, whenever you are importing plants or even just bringing plants from, you know, a big box store, you want to spray the plant down. You want to spray the plant's leaves underneath the leaves, in between the crevices of the nodes, the top of the soil if it's in a pot, and if it's you know, an import like this, or just buying plants from online, you want to spray the root system down. Now, the alcohol and the hydrogen peroxide will not be harmful for the plant because it is in a smaller dose. The neem oil will also kill any potential pests. And then the fact that I am going to be soaking this in water for at least 72 hours in a Super Thrive solution, plus it's in like purified water, I am pretty confident that these plants are actually going to acclimate well. The good thing about it is, and that's the reason why I have a lot of confidence, is the fact that the root system is really good. All of the plants so far have some really established roots. I don't feel like they have to be repropagated. I've seen other import videos from other online sellers where literally all of the roots have either rotted or they were not really that strong. They basically just got a cutting and they had to repropagate it. But Greenspaces ID, again, I am so excited. And for the person that was actually interacting with me on Instagram, you can follow Greenspaces ID at Instagram. Just add them. You can send them a direct message, and I'm telling you, they will respond to you fairly quickly. Super happy about that. I've actually had a couple of other Indonesian sellers reach out to me on Instagram, but for me, I have to go interact with somebody that has, number one, quite a bit of followers. Number two, when you think about the comments in the comments section, you want to see that they're not just fake accounts accounts. It's easy to have an Instagram account or just even an online shop where there's several reviews, but then you have to really dig into the person doing the review. Is the Instagram account like one follower? Was it something like that? So I will say with Greenspaces ID, they have several people who have actually done reviews. This is my personal review, and you can see here, this is a Hoya undulata green. So I don't know a lot about it, but what I do like is if you look at the speckling on the leaf, it's got like almost like a lavender purple tone about it. So I'm curious to see what that looks like. I did look at some of the syngoniums that Greenspaces ID has, so I will probably venture out and purchase more. And the thing about it is, my biggest concern was literally receiving an import plant, especially on the hottest week I've seen so far this summer, 100+ degree weather. I was really nervous that these plants would come baked, but they weren't. They literally were like packaged well, and it was just something that I'm really thankful for. Maybe it was just meant for me to have a really good experience. My best advice is though for importing plants is just know that if you're importing a plant, there is a chance that it may not go perfect. You should be willing to lose that money that you've invested. Now, obviously for Greenspaces ID, they have a really good customer service line to where you can literally connect with them, and I'm sure they can find a solution. But I would say out of all of the plants, this Hoya probably has the least developed root. You know, Hoya roots, I didn't realize were actually fairly fine. So there's quite a bit of sphagnum moss. What I do know about Hoyas, and I mentioned this in a lot of my big box shopping videos, is Hoyas are very forgiving. I literally didn't water one of my Hoyas for an entire month and it bounced back. And the thing about it is Hoyas are also very easy to propagate from cuttings. So I have no fear that this Hoya will do well. I mean, the leaves already were nice and thick, very waxy. You can see that there is already a new shoot growth shoot ready to go for that. So what I'm going to do is I just want to make sure that I spray this down really well, disinfect it in my sink, and I am happy that I finally got like a new sink for my house. We had to like replace it, but spraying this down and just really getting this soaked up, that's really one way I can potentially prevent pests. Obviously, even when we're spraying our plants down, plant pests will happen. So it's just a matter of staying on top of it. That is literally part of why we grow plants. It's part of the plant care, but I'm just so excited. So, you know, for Greenspaces ID, just my initial first experience with them, I'm super happy, and you can see there's just a little bit of that root system, so this one may need to stay in water for just a little bit more, although I might potentially just put this Hoya in leca. I might do that, but I know for the other plants that I got, I want to go ahead and put them in a substrate that's soil chunky aeroid mix. I definitely want to get a lot of charcoal. I've noticed that if I put a lot of like charcoal, perlite, and orchid bark, it really helps keep the soil chunky and fast draining, which is what I like. And then obviously plant foldies, I will give you guys updates on that. I'm almost tempted to go ahead and purchase some more plants from Greenspaces ID, but with PlantCon 2024 coming around the corner in literally 2 weeks, I'm going to see what plants I am able to source out. But as you can see here, this is some of my final thoughts and just my thoughts in general. Like this Alocasia scalphrum, beautiful plant. I love that, and it just kind of reinvigorates me to want to purchase more Alocasia. You know, Alocasia, they are a little bit of a finicky plant, but look at how beautiful that is. I would actually say out of all the plants, the Alocasia scalphrum had the best root system. You can see that the roots were nice and fresh, super white. It even had some corms. So if I can keep this Alocasia alive and let it just thrive, I'm hoping that I can share that with some of my plant foldies in the local Dallas Fort Worth community. And then we can also look at this right over here. I have them all in just water. And that's the thing on plant foldies. If you've never imported plants, you definitely need to understand that you should not plant these plants in a substrate like soil. You really want them to at least rehydrate. You want to make sure that you're putting them in bright, indirect light, not too much light, but enough to where they get the light, because they were in a package. And then you can see right here a Philodendron Billetiae. And, you know, I'm even thinking about possibly just importing a variegated Philodendron Billetiae here. So yeah, but these are all of the plants from Greenspaces ID. You know, in terms of the turnaround time, it could take to about 3 to 4 weeks on average whenever you're importing plants, because it's not the actual shipping. Because if they ship air cargo, it literally will get to you get to the United States within like 24 to 48 hours, and then it's going to take another 3 days to get to your destination, or even faster. It's just because even the phytosanitary certificate, when it actually reaches the United States, they still have to inspect these plants to make sure that there are no plant pests. There is a whole process for that, but Greenspaces ID has really reputable brokers. And so if you don't have an import license, you know, that's another question that people say, can you bring plants from overseas to the United States? Yes, it just really depends on the seller. But with Greenspaces ID, they really take the heavy load of the legalities of importing plants on their shoulders. I would say the plant pricing on their website, greenspaces.id, you can check that out. They have it organized to where you can see different types of plants. You can order that. There's different methods of how to do it. And what's interesting is, for my Canadian plant foldies, if you want to import plants to Canada, you can, because Greenspaces ID ships out worldwide, so you can literally get some of the plants to you. I know that a lot of my Canadian plant foldies have had some issues where they don't necessarily have a lot of plants to pick from. So check it out. Highly recommend Greenspaces ID. I hope to continue to get people excited about importing plants. If anybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, any plant foldies are willing to go in on a next import session, let me know, because the more plants we order, the cheaper the shipping and the phytosanitary certificate will be. As you can see right here, I've had my second experience. I know Cultivation Corner, Janae Simone, and I Lift Plants, Steven, you guys might want to just go ahead and jump in and do that. Maybe we can talk about our import plants. It's something that I would do. But plant foldies, if you like this video so far, please make sure you leave a comment. Please make sure you follow Greenspaces ID. Please leave comments and let them know that you are a plant foldie and you found them through GrowFold. I would really love that exposure with them, because I want to make sure that I'm maintaining some really good relationships with plant sellers that have really treated me well. But as you can see here, plant foldies, let me know. I mean, this is an absolutely stunning Alocasia scalprum. I'm so happy that they gave me some really nice varieties of plants. I requested an Aglaonema and they got me a good one. I'm hoping that my next imports will be a lot of Aglaonemas, a bunch of Syngoniums. So Greenspaces ID, if you are watching this video, I really appreciate all the time that you guys have just the communication, all the times that you have really spent with me, just letting me know about the process, and also for choosing me to review your plants. Like, I'm not a big YouTuber by any means, but the one thing I can contribute is the fact that I love plants, I'm passionate about it, and I love to give you guys some real reviews and content. They definitely didn't pay me, but they were able to give me some amazing plants. And again, plant foldies, for my 42nd birthday, I'm super excited to be healthy, happy. And that's the thing. It's not always about that monetary gift that you get. It's literally the health that you get. And so my final thoughts for Greenspaces ID is, if you are gonna buy from them, just understand that it does take quite a bit of time for importing plants, unless you work a deal. But I think what makes them time-consuming process is just getting the phytosanitary certificate, which is basically making sure the plant is free of pests, and that takes a while for them to produce that. Also know that factors like the post office or the mailing could factor in, but also know that if you're importing plants from Greenspaces ID, I mean, look at how beautiful this anthurium is. You will get quality. Like, literally, that new root, that white root must have just populated as it was in transit, because it's a brand new fresh one. And know that whenever you import plants, there is a rehabilitation period or acclimation period. So sometimes they might deteriorate in the health. That's not normal. So plant foldies, if you have any questions, leave that in the comments, especially about importing. But if you're going to ask me, highly recommend Greenspaces ID. If you are a plant foldie, please follow them on Instagram if you have Instagram. Leave some comments for them. Thank them for me, because I am so thankful. And honestly, for my birthday, birthday, August 7th, today, I am just glad that we can have a plant party where I can show you these videos. I feel super blessed in the fact that I've been able to share my journey, and I'm going to be able to diversify some of my plant content. But I mean, plant foldies, what do you guys think of all of these plants from Greenspaces ID? Are you into importing? Would you be open to importing, especially for my Canadian plant foldies? Definitely check the plant pricing out. I would also recommend maybe going in with several people, so that way the shipping and phytosanitary costs are lessened, because the plant pricing for the plants are super affordable, and that's the reason why a lot of people will actually import overseas. Some people will say it's not really worth the process. For me, it is, in a sense that there's excitement, there's something to look forward to. You're supporting other sources where these plants are actually originally from, so I like that a lot. Again, like this right here, plant foldies. Love this. Look at this beautiful Aglonema Big Papa. I was already browsing their website for more plants. So if you're open to doing a import collab with me, let me know. If you are, send a comment to me, because I do eventually want to do that. It's going to definitely be after PlantCon, and I definitely will do more reviews for Greenspaces ID. I want to also keep you guys updated with how the plants acclimate. So anyways, guys, make sure you are shopping at Greenspaces ID. This is their website. If you don't have Instagram, definitely check it out. Let me know in the comments what you think. And then also, please hit the like button for this video. It really helps the video go to more people in case they've never imported plants. And as always, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel with the notification bell on. This is Richie at Growfold. I'm gonna have a wonderful time. Super excited to share my birthday with y'all. See you soon.